Thank you for joining us. Tonight we're learning more about the deadly fireworks explosion in Upshur County. Today, authorities identified the man killed as 58-year-old Jared Maddox, a longtime East Texas fireman. The explosion happened yesterday morning in Gilmer on Locust Road. And as KLTV7's Bob Hallmark reports, investigators now know what caused the explosion.
Upshur County investigators say a trailer was being loaded with fireworks inside the venue on Locust Road yesterday.
There was approximately 300 3-inch fireworks mortar tube shells that were loaded onto a trailer.
Suddenly, an enormous blast rocks the building at an event venue called Firehouse 9 Farm. Burning furiously, fire crews from all over the area began to respond.
As deputies and the fire department started to arrive, the heat was just immense. They were doing their best to get as close as they could to the building just to try to extinguish them and to do what they can.
Whether it was a simple human mistake or a technical malfunction is not known, but investigators do know that something called an electrical match started the domino effect.
By the evidence and the witness statements, the electronic match is what ignited and caused the explosion. Once that went off, it just ignited the rest of the fireworks that were on the trailer.
Webb hopes something in the investigation will help with safety standards in the future.
Some kind of recommendations or something would come out of, the ATF and the fire marshal's investigations to make things safer, I guess, for these tragedies. We took a hard hit yesterday.
Bob Hallmark, KLTV 7 News.
Now, of the 4 people injured, 1 suffered only minor injuries, while 3 others had serious injuries, with one of them being airlifted to a Shreveport hospital.